Which one starstruck you the most?
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I gotta
Really?
be honest with you. Like, obviously, I was excited to work with Chris and Thug and everything,
Yeah.
but like, I didn't grow up listening to Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow
Yeah.
up listening to Thug or Future. Like, they came out after I was an adult. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal, I grew up listening to him. I wanted to be like Arsenal, the battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to have bars like his. I wanted to write music like his. And just growing up, that was a memory that me and my brothers shared. Like, growing up, we listened to him. And like I said, we grew up poor. Like, we was really, really close. Like, we had nothing to do but interact with each other. So, to be able to meet him was crazy. Like, and the craziest shit is Cheeks asked me, like, before he became like the big rapper, he was like, yo, if I ever become a big rapper, who's the top 5 people you want to work with? Like, kind of like what we just talked about. And I told him, like, Arsenal was one of them. He's like, cool, if I ever get the Arsenal plug, like, I'm going to call you. And he's sitting in the studio one night. And the first night I met him, it was crazy. It was kind of like the same thing with Jimbo. He was 2 hours late. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But he just got off the plane. So it was like, he's like, yo, he just landed and shit. He going to be a minute. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm waiting. I don't know who it is. Cheeks ain't telling me. He's just like, yo, it's a surprise. I'm like, man, you probably got so-and-so coming this thing. Man, I don't want to work with Gunna. I don't want to work with nobody else. Man, fuck them. I'm good on that. Like, I've already worked with him. I'm straight. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Cheeks is like, yo, he's here. And I'm like, man, go get him, bro. I don't care, bro. I'm ready to go home at this point. I'm sitting on the couch. I got my phone and shit like this. And he walks in, and I just look up. And I'm like, oh, shit. And he's like, yo, relax. I said, nah, bro. Like, all right, look, bro, this how this finna go. We're gonna work, and then we finna talk. Like, and he's like, yo, it's cool, big dog. Like, we can do whatever, da-da-da-da-da. And we ended up cutting, like, 3 records that night in a matter of an hour. Like, man. Yeah, he freestyles like crazy. Ask him, bro. Arsenal will go in the booth and just lay shit down and be done in like 10, 15 minutes. An entire song. Yeah, he's phenomenal, bro. Like, and it's crazy. Like, after that, bro, the conversations that we had, like, I told him, like, bro, I grew up listening to you. Like, it's crazy, like, trying not to fanboy. And you can't help it. He's like, bro, it's all cool, bro. Like, I'm a normal person just like you. I was like, I know that, bro, but I just can't help it. Like, I want to talk to you and ask you all these questions. He sat there for, like, a good 2.5 hours and answered every single question I had. Wow. Like, yeah, he was mad cool, bro. Like, and the craziest shit, after that, he was like, yo, take my number down. Like, I just moved here. Like, we finna lock in. And now he lives in Tampa. And literally, like, I was just texting him on the way here and was like, yo, we need to get in. We need to lock some shit in. And he's like, all right, cool. Just say the date. And we in there.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy, dog. Like, this music shit has really changed my life.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Is there something that any big or really any artist that has just, is there anything someone said to you that's really changed your path? Like, is there any gem that someone dropped on you and you're like, oh, wow.
Change your attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things. I don't want to say her name.
That's fine.
But yeah, nah, like, she kind of told me sometimes, she was like, you come off a bit strong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, I come off too aggressive sometimes. And which is every male, you know what I'm saying? We got testosterone and all that other shit. We're aggressive by nature, you know what I'm saying? Every male, if you're brought up a certain way, you're aggressive by nature. But certain things that I'll say, certain ways I'll do things, certain ways I joke around sometimes come off too aggressive. And after being told that, it was like I reevaluated how I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of changed a lot of things. Like, once I started treating people a little bit differently, a lot more doors opened up for me. So it was like a learning experience. It was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? It kind of took a real person to really just sit down and be like, yo, you got to change how you do things. You come off too aggressive sometimes. So you got to really figure yourself out. And then once I figured myself out, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest piece of advice. Like, other than that, the biggest piece of advice I got was from myself. Get the fuck out of your own way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just let people do what they do and just do what you do. You can't control anybody else. Just let you do what you do.
Your favorite artist this week being Roddy Ricch. Is there any artist that is like your dream artist to work with? Or have you already done it?
I've already done it.
Who was that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I had 5.
Okay.
So a lot of them, I signed NWAs. So I'm not going to say the names and everything like that of the songs. But one was Chris Brown.
Oh, wow.
One was Future.
Whoa.
One was Thug. One was Arsenal. And then I still haven't picked a 5th one yet. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I would probably say Roddy. I'd probably say Roddy Ricch. Like, just because, like, I really rocked with his album. And it was just like, damn, he made some timeless music. Like, you can literally throw that album on anytime, and there's a song on there that you can relate to. at any point in your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you up and you got money, you ready to step on a bitch, you play big stepper and just show people who you are.
Yeah.
And then War Baby is like for the people that come from the trenches that made it out. You know what I'm saying? And then the box is just a flexing song. So it's just like any song on that album you can relate to. So I would say my fifth person is Roddy, but I haven't worked with him yet. But I've worked with 4 out of 5, I would say.
Damn.
And yeah, it's crazy, man. It's been really crazy. Like the first time I worked with Chris was for a record with Kevin McCall. And it was a record that hasn't been done yet. And it's not out yet because him and Chris are still going through their scuffle, and hopefully they come to an agreement to where we can put the album out. Well, not the album, the record. Damn, I fucked that up.
Yeah.
Low key. Fuck it, everybody. You know now. But nah, yeah, it's cool, man. Hopefully they come to an agreement and they figure out their issues, and you know what I'm saying, they can put all that shit aside and drop the music. But I was literally in New York. It was the craziest shit. Like I was going through like the toughest part of my career. Like this is like when I transitioned from working a day job into
Full-time?
Yeah, into a full-time engineer. The first time I ever worked with Chris was with Kevin McCall's Records. And he called me. I'm walking through Times Square and I'm pissed off at the world because I'm going broke in New York. I'm on vacation. I'm supposed to be able to pay for the shit. And this is in like 2016. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be able to pay for everything. And I'm going broke. I'm walking around in the most expensive city in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like a gallon of milk is like $15 in New York.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Like that was in like 2016, I
That's
believe.
state tax.
Yeah, bro. Like my dad smoked cigarettes. So like it's like the worst shit ever.
Going
So-
broke out there off of the cigarettes.
Bro, it was like $40 for a
Holy
pack.
shit.
I was like, oh my God.
my-
Like it's like $7-8 down here, but up in New York it's like $40 a pack. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like stop smoking. Like save me some fucking money. But it was crazy. I'm going through like the worst part of my career, and Kevin calls me. He's just like, hey, I got a surprise for you. And I'm like, dog, you better have like $1,000 for me or something so I can make it home. He was like, all right, peep this. I got you with 1,000 so you can make it home since you said that. But I got you a record. And I'm like, bro, I don't fucking want to talk about work right now, bro. Like, I don't want to talk about it. He sends me the email, and it's a WeTransfer link, and it says Kev and Chris. I'm like, no way. So I download the WeTransfer link when I get back to the hotel on my laptop. I load up Pro Tools, pull up the session. The first person I hear is Chris Brown. I'm like, holy shit.
Wow.
I'm crazy with it. And like I'm running around the hotel. I'm screaming like a little bitch. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I work with Chris Brown. Mom. And then I went live. And that's like what fucked everything up, I'm going to be honest with you. I went live, and that was like my first huge credit. And once I went live, it kind of fucked everything up. Kevin seen it and was just like, yo, take that shit down, because Chris doesn't know we're going to be putting this out yet. We haven't talked to him, and we haven't squashed our issue yet. Like, so we don't even know if it's coming out, but we're getting it prepped and ready just in case it is coming out. And I'm like, fuck. All right, I fucked that up. And you know what I'm saying? That was like the craziest time I ever worked with an artist. After that, like the next artist that came was Young Thug, and that was with Cheeks. And Cheeks had brought me a session, and it was like the craziest like shit. He said, fuck, what did he say? Like, I'm trying to remember the lyrics because it was like, what? Like, he
Dramatic
said
dog.
something like, I'm in her guts or some shit like that. And it was like something, the punchline after that, when you really think about it, it was like, damn, that was so like intricate, but so simple. You had to really think about it to get it, but it was super simple. Once you understood the line, you got it. And it was just like, you gonna release this? He was like, nah, bro, I just wanted to give you the credit. I was like, yo, that's lit, bro. Like, we got like 5 records with Thug now, and then we got records with Future. Who else? Arsenal. Like, I grew up listening to Arsenal, so that was like one of the main reasons I got into music. And to have him as a client and a friend, you know what I'm saying, is crazy. Like, I can call him at any point and he'll pick up and be like, yo, what up? What you need? You good? You need anything? Like, he just did the battle with Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, I got you with tickets and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit's crazy. He was like, you can come, you can rock with me, you can be on stage, da-da-da-da-da. And then he hit me and was like, yo, like, little shit like this right here, what I'm about to say is like the shit that matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hit me and was like, yo, what size hoodie you wear? I'm like, large? Why? He was like, all right, cool, I got you a hoodie for the brand and shit, the So Disrespectful brand. Like, little things like that really set artists apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see that they really rock with you for a certain way. And just to know Arsenal is like a homie is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? My brother, I FaceTimed FaceTimed my brother in the studio to introduce him to Arsenal because we grew up listening to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little moments like that are crazy and that are overwhelming sometimes.
Well, you said family was a big part of you starting to rap, and what
Yeah.
about family really? Like, were they telling you like, yo, you should rap? Or
Yeah, my uncle actually gave me my first like setup with the recording wise. It was I forgot what it's called, Mixcraft, something like that.
Gotcha.
Pro
Okay.
Tools.
Yeah, and it was real simple. Like
Yeah.
especially we used to make our own beats and stuff. So you have like a little loop, and then it'll clip on to the next loop, like real simple. And we was recording that, you know, at our little spot, me and my brothers, and it was dope because like we'll drop a little song on SoundCloud, and then like a girl would hit me up, and she'll go to like a different school, and she'd be like, I'm over here in computer class, and somebody's listening to your music, and then I look on it and have like 1,000 plays. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? That shit was dope. But
the
then,
whole computer class just jamming.
yeah,
Get it
and it was light too. It was something light, and I wish I still had that equipment still. Like, but then I had moved out my people crib, and shit got mixed up. My boy had a laptop. We was shooting on videos and shit like that.
I've been noticing a lot lately is just from watching Jada, is that people are. Do you know who Emma Chamberlain is? I'm like this with David Dobrik. Do you guys know who Emma Chamberlain is? It's like the female version of like David Dobrik.
I actually find her attractive. Put that out there, just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On God.
God, I mean, it ain't because she got a body or something. I don't know, just something about her. I'm like, that's a wife that's gonna do something.
Do something.
She's like productive. I mean,
yeah, she's super
productive. That's all I mean. Is like,
that's what everyone's watching. I feel like it's making a huge wave. Like you start to think about people like her or David Dobrik. If they started promoting different types of music in different ways, they could put an artist on like that. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, but I think they have too much on their hands to even add that on.
I mean,
probably. Well,
I don't know who these people are, but I feel
social media presence.
I feel like it's mostly all about TikTok these days when
TikTok.
it comes to putting artists on. Like, how many songs have you guys heard
from TikTok, right?
Yeah. That you're like, oh, what? Like now you're all like big and shit. It's all TikTok.
Yeah,
I think that's the new way to put people on too. Is like it used to be like Vine and things like that would put you on.
Yeah.
But now it really is moving around.
Well,
TikTok for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like TikTok, and then when they do those challenges on TikTok, and it's like, hey, can you like reproduce this on your platform or some shit? It's like, I don't know, kids are eating that up now. If you're not doing a challenge, you're not big enough.
And China's reaping the rewards. Just throwing that out there. TikTok's owned by China.
TikTok is killing it. The TikTok phone, killing it.
That goes to show you, man, we got to collaborate, not separate.
TikTok. Hit up Raul, our communications man. He'll get
Hit
back
us
to you.
up. We would love a TikTok Mix One Essentials.
Get tagged.
What?
Man. All right. I mean, speaking of, it's kind of on a label verge.
You mean TikTok or what?
TikTok, yeah. I mean, in a sense, it's like almost a distribution company without intentionally being that.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ways now music's being distributed. A lot of companies that came from the OG styles just still surviving in this new era, but, just goes to show where it all started and comes back. Just goes to the end of technology. I mean, you guys remember, like, the old MCs and, like, the old...
MySpace?
Like, no. I'm talking 80s.
Yeah. Like
talking,
Sugar Hill Gang
yeah,
and stuff like that.
Like, back when they used to, like, rap wasn't taken serious. And, like, there was no charge for rap. There was no anything for rap. I mean, people thought it was a fad that was going to come and go.
Yeah.
And look where it's at.
Yeah. Now it's here constantly. I think this was with Sugar Hill Gang, but they were the first marketed hip-hop group in 1979, which is crazy. That's not even that long ago if you think about it. Like, hip-hop and rap is so...
Was that 40 years?
It's almost like in its... Yeah, but still. It's,
no, that's pretty young for something.
I guess it's like an adolescence for, music as a whole.
Yeah, because how long has pop been around, or rock, or the other genres,
Maybe like the 50s?
Yeah.
Like rock, but then you got to think about, are you talking about the rock we have now, right?
Rock Johnson? No.
But then you got the rock back then when it started. Like, you also have to look at the evolution of a genre, right? Mm-hmm. So we had rap back then with Sugar Hill Gang, and then now we have rap now with, like, I don't know, name a person.
Now,
Like, yeah, that's huge now. Like
Oh.
the baby.
yeah, the baby.
Yeah, and then you go in between that, and then who do you have, right? Like, let's say like 90s.
Tupac,
Mm.
Biggie.
Everybody says it. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like the groups and everything else, and then before, I mean, it's
Speaking
evolution.
of groups, though, that's like what used like back in the day when there was more rap groups than there are now. I guess there used to be a whole thing where the artist, the one that was rapping, had to really work around making his lyrics kind of like work with whatever the other group are
Came up
doing.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so if somebody's doing like a piano lead or adding some type of instrumental, sampling some kind of way, the rapper would have to work around all of that. Yeah, which before groups, like before that started taking off, they used to the MCs used to shine and really like put out a lot of lyricisms because they didn't have to compete or not compete, but they didn't have to share the stage with a producer or with a beat maker or pianist or just a musician in general.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, I mean, you're up there with your DJ. Like, you got
Yeah.
Future, then you got Esco.
So, do you guys watch King of the Dot at all, or do you know what that is?
No, no idea.
So,
Explain.
King of the Dot, it's pretty much like battle rap, right? So you get people that come up there like Conscious. He's like a thing. Or yeah, he's on what's that Nick Cannon show that he does?
Wild and Out.
Yeah, Wild and Out. Yeah, he's like this small guy. He's always like, "Wait, did I diss you?" Like that's his catchphrase, or some like you just get like a lot of artists that are in that.
Yeah.
Like the King of the Dot that can go like just off the top of the dome immediately, but nobody really knows about him. I feel like him, or is it Conscious? But I feel like him and then like someone else, can't remember his name, but they're the only two.
Juice
that I've
WRLD.
seen- oh,
Juice WRLD can rap.
Juice
Could.
WRLD, yeah. So that was what I said. I'm like, but
R.I.P.
no, but that have been seen, but nobody else knows about King of the Dot or like those types of battle
Well-
raps, and it's also like international where you get people from like England,
Yeah.
Tibet, like I mean people from around the world doing battle rap. None of them are getting like exposure,
Yeah.
and so like why do you think that is really, right?
Maybe because nowadays it's not really about rap in the sense of a battle, but more about rapping in the sense of a celebration. And because there's so much to celebrate nowadays within the culture that it has consumed every aspect of the culture. So it's pretty much stripped away the raw essence that has brought the genre and the music all the way to here and kind of just sat back to people now celebrating and, letting celebration take the wheel for at least now. It's been 40 years and I think people are really starting to blossom and, profit, and there's so much going around in the industry that nowadays the music is just saturated by celebration.
Like I hear that, and then I also think about like let's take like Chance the Rapper, right?
Yeah.
Like doing it by himself, where every other person before that.
Did he do it by himself though?
Well, I mean, he's been hyped up to have release his own music, do all that by himself. I mean, not create the music, but like instead of having a big industry like I don't know Sony Music or blah blah, blah like back you,
Mm-hmm.
he put it out there himself because again he used technology.
Are you
that's
talking about
current
acid
today.
rap?
Acid rap? No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about just being able to put yourself on overall. Like when you said like profit in beginning, I mean, yeah, they make some money
Mm-hmm.
and they do whatever with that money, but overall, I mean, there's like a bigger person above them that makes the majority of the money,
Yep.
puts them in the contracts,
Yep.
everything else, and sort of goes like, okay, you need to start releasing like this and this and this, and like that's not
Mhm.
how your audience is about. Like we know your audience, so you have to fit this sort of agenda.
Yeah, you got to
right?
mold to their
Oh,
mold.
Yeah, it's
That
like, well,
that can hurt a lot of artists
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of
Presentation,
artists
yeah.
are like, "Man, I don't want you telling me what
Right.
to do. Like, I got myself here. And now that I'm here, you want to change everything I do?"
exactly.
Little Uzi Vert.
And I mean, it's like I feel like more artists now shouldn't be looking towards, and I don't think they do, but I don't think any artist that's seen this, you should not look towards getting signed on to like these companies that are gonna reap the money
Yeah.
from you.
Mhm.
You should just do it yourself and use these platforms that we were already talking about, like
Right.
TikTok, Instagram,
That-
any
that's what the-
tastemakers,
That's what the younger generation is doing. I mean,
the Gen Zers.
yeah, but whether they get it, they get their popularity, and then the labels throw them a good sack, and they're like, because they're young, they're like, heck yeah, I'm gonna take,
It's like college football players.
yeah.
Have you seen the Kerwin Frost guy? The guy that has like a big ass pencil on his face and does
No.
interviews.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this one kid from like New York, and he does interviews. And I
Yeah.
actually just saw him doing an interview with Tyler the Creator, and
think I heard
he was talking about like all his shoes and shit, and how he has like shoes with Converse. And then he was talking about how he just got to work on the new Grinch movie.
Wait, a new
Animated
movie?
or live?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a new one. It's animated, and he did the whole soundtrack
Oh
for it.
yeah, they were
What?
gonna reboot the Grinch. Yeah, I remember now. He did the soundtrack. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes to show you music and the movie industry are really collaborating hard.
Yeah. Does Tyler own his own sub label? Am I right? Is Flognaw?
I wouldn't be
sub
surprised
label?
if it is.
Probably.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's got everything in his hands. Like he's got tons of creative control over everything that they're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why he was saying he likes Converse, because they just pretty much let him do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so
I
important
mean,
about everyone.
was it? Kanye had to fight Nike, right?
Yeah,
He had to go through all
they
the
wouldn't
hoops.
even let him see his own shoes.
That's insane.
Hey man, Nike's like, we got the golden goose egg.
And they dropped it.
Yeah.
And then he just opened up his own shoe company.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck it. Just came out with like the 700 version 3s. It's
Yeah.
like, or V3, whatever. It's like, people are already buying them. They're like $500. It's over. Like he comes out with a shirt that has a hole in it, and everybody's like $1,000, sold out. But
Yeah, for sure.
I
I
don't
mean,
wa-
he's $1 billion company now with Yeezy.
Mm.
It's huge, and I mean,
With Kim.
Shots fired.
I mean, I know he's on a label and everything like that, so he didn't, he's got people backing him, probably in the best ways, but it's still incredible. I think it's really shifted a lot from, you look at like when rap first started becoming mainstream and labels had full control of everything, like you were talking about Chance the Rappers. It's really all in the artist's hands now on what they do and what they want to do. A lot of people are saying don't sign, blah, 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 or do sign depending on what you're wanting to do. But the fact that you get the choice to, like, you say, oh, this is how I want my career to go, and then you can go from there, that's what's the incredible part in my mind.
yeah, you just build from nothing. I mean, again, like we're living in an age where you can almost do anything, like this podcast. Like you can just start from literally nothing, build up, and then now you're just like a multi-million-dollar worth whatever. It's just it's crazy the amount of creativity or the amount of tools we have at our disposal to get us in front of like the planet. But yeah, we just got to keep it up, and especially with rap, we just got to keep pushing the bar even higher.
It's like such an awful thing. But the feds were definitely on his trail. Like, it's been confirmed and everything. There's somebody in the, I don't know what you call it, Justice Department or whatever,
Yeah.
that's been talking to TMZ and letting them know like what's going on.
Well, that's the thing about it, man. People like don't forget that you're not immune because you're a big artist or because you're a big celebrity. When the feds want you, they'll get you.
I mean, I can't imagine I would do that, like swallow a whole thing of pills, to
I mean,
get rid of it. But
Because like I was thinking, like, did he even know that 70 pounds of weed was on the plane, or like
Yeah,
did he
I
think
wonder.
that he only had those pills?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Because like if he didn't know about the 70 pounds of weed, then like
He might
that
have
might
just-
have been why he's like, oh shit, this is all I got. This is all that's gonna get us in trouble. These pills. Bah.
He might have just been like extorted.
Yeah, that
or,
could have been
like,
also another
blackmail. They could have been just using him as like a mule, like a drug mule.
lot of
using his-
speculations.
Using his like jets. Like how
Well, it
they
wasn't
did,
his.
like how they did 6ix9ine. Like there was a bunch of people around him that were doing stuff to get money on the side.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he can only make so much money legally,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't really profit from that. Like, it goes into his name and his like accountant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like when your team's around you, they could be making money because they could be doing different things for you. Like
No,
people you
but
hang
like
out with can be your photographers, your managers, your roadies, stuff like that, where they can make money.
Yeah, but like, what if that's not enough? What if they see they can make more?
It's greed. Greed
Yeah.
takes over.
Yeah, they probably were just greedy, and they were just taking advantage of the situation,
Pretty much. I mean,
and they didn't see it, bro. They didn't see them coming after them, bro.
Or just like the bigger picture. Like,
And I mean, they had 2 guns on them.
but those were registered to the bodyguards that were there. So originally the bodyguards were arrested for those and charged with it, but the charges were dropped when they had found out that they were actually legally owned guns.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good when you have that much drugs on you with guns.
Yeah,
No.
definitely doesn't look good.
Yeah,
But I mean, they're bodyguards, so they're hired for that. you
yeah,
know?
but at
So,
that
like,
point,
I would
if you
expect them to have
at
it.
that point, if you got guns and drugs, it's not really like, are you
bodyguard. Yeah.
are you protecting
Who or
him,
what are you
or
protecting?
are you protecting the merchandise?
Right now is popping. That's like the new thing to distribute your music, especially for local artists or artists that aren't really up there yet with the big boys or big girls. And it's really something that will revolutionize the music scene. I mean, can you imagine a concert being live streamed? Like,
Yeah, I seen them
you know
like
what I
rolling loud. I seen.
no, I don't mean like a concert. Like, I don't mean like a concert that people go to. I mean a concert only being live streamed, not where you got to pay to go see, but
Yeah, yeah.
just the musician in a room or wherever they're at.
Well, at that
'Cause
point,
that's your audience at that point.
Oh,
The
yeah.
audience are the viewers.
at that point,
rather
it's
than
just
having
kind
to
of
sit in
like
chairs.
watching like the boxing game, like watching like a boxing match.
Yeah.
Like, look at like KSI versus Logan Paul or whatever.
Mhm.
They went on like the DAZN thing,
Yeah, they're pretty much up.
like watching like a boxing match.
Yeah.
Like, look at like KSI versus Logan Paul or whatever.
Mhm.
They went on like the DAZN thing.
Yeah, they're pretty much up there now.
Yeah, and they're just YouTubers boxing,
Right.
or yeah, just yeah.
And they did real training camps too, which is super great.
Well, I mean, they were gonna be in the
Yeah,
real.
you
they-
need to.
Yeah, they were really boxing. It wasn't.
Or else you'd see like 2 rounds of just that's it, punching, and then the rest is like heavy breathing, just walking around.
They live streamed it on everything. Wasn't that on Twitch and everything? too?
Everything, man.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, that's the way to go nowadays. Live stream is really changing the scene, not just for musicians, but for everybody.
It makes you so much more present.
I mean, you can't. That's the thing. You can't reach 100 people or like 1,000 people and expect not to try to go further. But the tool to help you do that is like going on live stream.
Yeah, because you think about how much manpower it takes to put up posters and get people in a city to all be paying attention to what you're doing,
And then get them all to
physically,
one venue.
and get them all to one place, and get them to pay a ticket price or something like that, or whatever. Even if it costs $1, you still gotta get them
Yeah.
to pay $1 to get in the door.
Well, you got to
Versus,
pay for
like-
transportation. You got to park.
Uh-huh.
You got to look nice. You got to get yourself ready. You got to pay for food.
Gotta
You
get
got to
those
pay for
fresh
transportation.
J's
Yeah,
on, or
boy.
those crisp white Air Force
Oh,
Ones.
I don't know, man. I think my days of wearing
Not the
crispy
high tops.
shoes, like, nah, to concerts beat, nah. Last time I wore crispy shoes, they came out fucking not crispy. Everybody
They
stepping on
weren't the
toes.
crisp white Air Force Ones. anymore. All of a sudden,
No.
you got the black one.
No,
Like,
bro,
man,
I
he
had
looks angry.
I had the
Those-
brown
just
ones,
have-
bro.
They just have more character now.
More character. Oh my god. Walk in my shoes and don't walk in them. Don't walk on them.
I mean, some people like dirty shoes too. I don't. That's definitely a
Shout out
style
Vans,
thing.
bro. That's the go-to concert shoe nowadays.
Yeah. If you
Vans.
if you're okay with shoes being dirty, you definitely rock some Vans.
Oh yeah, man.
Bro, you ever been to Rolling Loud, bro?
Yeah.
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 Who is in Rolling Loud, boy?
I feel like I thought I was gonna lose a toe at Rolling Loud.
Not the
That
toe.
was-
You lose your equilibrium.
Man,
Let alone a shoe. I didn't think I was coming back with the big toe.
bro, I remember seeing X at Rolling Loud when he
Man, I
when he
know.
was first there.
R.I.P. X, bro. I remember listening to that one "Look at Me" song and like all those other songs. I'm like, this is a new artist. I was expecting years of like transformations and good music.
It was like
and-
the second,
man.
It was like the second. What was it? The second Rolling Loud, in Wynwood,
Yeah.
and I think it was Roy Woods playing at the same time as
Shout
X.
out Roy Woods.
But X wasn't playing at like a big stage. X was like at a smaller little tent. and he was crazy, and he went out and he like
That was young.
knocked out some kid in like they dropped the mic. That shit was like crazy feedback, and he was yelling at the DJ. He's like, no, stop that shit. Like, start it again. Play this song. He's like, what do you guys want to hear?
That's how you gotta
And, like,
be, man.
You dropped the song,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even that loud, but they just go crazy and just start swinging at everybody. And like I saw him like disappear into the crowd, and then like some kid got knocked out, and he like runs back to the mic, and it was crazy. Everybody was getting hit. I think some kid hit me, but it was a little kid, so you can't really do anything.
How big you are, you don't even feel that.
Yeah.
What you talking about, bro? He's still suffering from that. He's still recovering.
I like Rolling Loud, but I mean they just need to switch it up sometimes. Like they've been doing the last couple ones at the stadium, but I mean they need to like, maybe like change the layout. The ticket prices. I had VIP last year, and it was kind of like underwhelming, but it was. I mean, there's so many artists that it's kind of worth it. You're never gonna see that many people in one place.
No,
for the price.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like all year. You could just not go to any concerts and just go to that, and that's it. And I remember I saw like Shoreline Mafia for the first time, but I missed them the year before, and I fucked up because I didn't wake up like early enough, and I didn't get to see 03 Greedo. But now he's in jail now. But he came out with like a fire ass like album with Kenny Beats.
Oh yeah, that was pretty fire. That disco shit.
Yeah,
Disco
the Maria
shit.
song on there too.
Oh, the Maria, yeah, that shit was fire.
Ooh, that's hot, man. Do you have anyone that you can think of that you don't have to say their story or anything like that, of course, but just like started coming in the studio and you saw a distinct change in their life?
Yeah, absolutely. I can talk about it because he talks about it. So I'm a firm believer if you talk about it, then we can talk about it.
100%.
Jimbo World, real close friend of mine. We became close friends over time. The funniest thing, blessings appear in all types of ways, and sometimes you got to get out of the way of your own blessing. With Jimbo, the first time I ever met Jimbo was at Clear Track, and he booked the session, and he was 2 hours late, and I had waited 2 hours. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm chilling, bro. Like, I'm mixing records and shit. I didn't even realize I waited 2 hours. Like, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, fuck, his session was at 8. It's 10:30. Where the fuck is this kid? So I text him. I'm like, yo, where are you at? He's like, yo, my bad, bro. I'm coming from Orlando. Traffic is terrible on I-4. I'll be there in like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm going to give you 20 minutes on the dot. If you're not here, I'm gone. I'm packing up. I'm out. 20 minutes goes by, not there.
Damn.
I'm shutting down the studio. I turn off the microphone, turn off the board, turn off everything. I shut off every single light in the building. I walk outside, I get in my car, I shut the door, turn it on, he pulls in.
No.
I was like, yo, this is some shit, bro.
How you gonna do me
Yeah,
like
right?
that?
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna do me like that, bro? So I'm sitting in the car, I'm like, oh, fuck. Now I gotta record him. He's here. I was trying to get out of here so I could be like, I'm already gone, bro. Catch me tomorrow. And he hit me. He was like, bro, there's nobody like me. I promise you, there's nobody like me. And I'm like, I hear this shit all the time, bro. Like, what's it gonna accomplish? And he hit me with, when I knew he was serious, is Clear Track charged $75 an hour. And he was like, I'll give you double that to record me for 2 hours.
Oh damn.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he was paying $150 an hour. And I was like, shit. This kid got, you know what I'm saying? He's got some money on him. He's willing to invest in himself. Like, that's the first thing I look for, is like, if you're willing to invest in yourself, because music at the end of the day is a business. A lot of people think that music business is just music, but they fail to realize the music business has business attached to it, and it's a business. So when he offered, he was like, I'll pay you double to record me. I was like, oh shit, okay, let's go ahead and take him in the studio. Now I'm thinking I'm about to just make an extra $75. He hit the booth and he recorded 3 songs in 20 minutes.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit. And they were like content, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like just thrown together regular trash songs like that a lot of people record. Like, and a lot of people don't take disrespect when I say a lot of songs are trash. What I mean by that is a lot of people, they manipulate songs into sounding like other artists, and that's not what Jimbo does. Jimbo is Jimbo, like 100%. He tells you his life in every song. And the first song we ever recorded was Plug Cry Tears, and he dropped it like a week later, and it hit like 150,000 views on YouTube.
Oh damn.
And just from that night alone, when I seen how fast he recorded and just how driven he was, it was like, all right, I want to work with this kid. And we locked in. He paid me for some mixes, and we got the album out. Then I started seeing the reaction from all the supporters and was like, holy shit, this kid did 500,000 streams in 2 weeks.
Wow.
It was like, he's special. You know what I'm saying? And then he went from having like 2,000 followers on Instagram to almost 70,000. You know what I'm saying? And he's growing. Like, we just had a meeting with Atlantic that he posted about, meeting with Tidal. Like, he's got a lot of shit going for him now. And just seeing that inspires me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came from the same boat. He talks about dealing weed. You know what I'm saying? He went from making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the streets to losing a lot of it, bouncing back, making more money, and then getting out, opening a restaurant, and then focusing completely on music now. So he's out the streets, focusing on music, and it's just incredible to see. You know what I'm saying? When you can see somebody from the same background as you doing the same thing, do the same thing you did, and do it 10 times as bigger as you. So it's inspirational. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
That's the things I look for, man, when you can see the people who really grow and they present themselves in the way, even he did to you, but showing up late, all right, whatever. But putting money behind himself,
yeah.
that
Once
says so
he
much.
he showed up late, and I'm just like, damn, I'm not trying to record this guy. Like, you show up 2.5 hours late. Now you're about to be 3 hours late. It's like, I really don't want to record you. Like, you showed no respect for my time. But then he was like, I'll double what you're making.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. That's 75 on top. I'm making that plus my hourly rate. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be stupid not to take that.
Yeah.
And then
Plus,
just,
I mean, if you think about it, you pretty much got paid for the 2 hours you were waiting around anyway,
yeah,
right?
you know what I'm
So-
saying? Exactly. At the end of the day, I got paid for the time I spent. So it was just like, all right, this is lit. And then just seeing like how fast he recorded and the quality that he was producing was crazy. And he just had an entire process that I had to get used to, because like when he records, he'll do the main vocal, he'll do a dub, a stack, and then emphasis. And it's like, that's a lot, Jimbo. Like, you don't need to do all that. And then we did 3 records that weren't like that, and they didn't do as well. And I was like, oh shit, like I'm fucking up this kid's like sound. You know what I'm saying? So that was when I had to, like, obviously, like I said, you block your own blessings sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I want to keep working with him, I got to get the fuck out of my way and just let him do his thing, and then just figure out a way to mix it. And we did that, and now we dropped Jimbo World Reloaded, which so far I think is almost at 1 million streams.
Wow.
Damn.
When
Yeah.
did that come out?
6 months ago.
Oh, wow. Let's go into a fan question that might have a little bit to do with this. It's at Drop. What is the future of media outlets for musicians? So if you think about gang culture, and not even just that, but all different types of music and how culture affects it all, do you think that changes how outlets will adapt to the artists depending on what they're into? So if you talk about, Ron, the good gang culture and bad gang culture, if you're a label, if you're a media outlet, what are you going to pick up? A lot of times people go for negative things because it's just going to catch all the views. It's going to hit all the clicks, right? And the positives don't really necessarily do that quite as much. You know, I'm just saying. How do you think media outlets are going to take everything? How do you think media outlets are going to accept different artists and what they're about?
It's a good question. I feel like eventually there's just going to be so many media outlets, and I'm hoping that there's good competition within it all, that you get to see a little bit of everything without really having to fully commit to one side. So it's going to be more of a, to maybe this month this media outlet's popping, the next month this media outlet's popping, and so on and so on. And of course, I guess, you know, depending on the people's taste, what are we going to listen to is, you know, what's going to have on that media outlet. It just depends on your taste.
Well, let's just hope the competition gets healthy. That's all I can say. You know, we see too much good artists as Juice WRLD, R.I.P., you know, Nipsey, Mac Miller, just too many good artists that want to bring in that positivity, that want to bring in the music that will unite, and just it comes down to the issues with the music industry, how Lil Peep, for example, was getting fed just unnecessary
drugs, yeah.
amounts of it in Juice WRLD in his situation, where he thought the only choice was to do something that ridiculous and wind up having to cost him his life. It's just, you know, we gotta. It's just when it comes down to it, the industry's gotta let it be known that that's unnecessary. At the end of the day, you aren't the thing that has to lose yourself. You aren't the person that has to lose yourself and lose your life just to bring in that music that inspires you, that moves you and motivates you. You don't have that's unnecessary.
Yeah, but on another note, another outlet that I see popping up would probably be VR, virtual reality concerts, virtual reality meetups, virtual reality listening parties, virtual reality. I mean, it'll connect so many people. Like, you thought an audience of 100,000 was going to be the only thing a concert could drag in, but 100,000 plus everybody who has that technology outside in the world, millions of people are going to be able to witness musical talents perform.
Mhm.
And I think that will shift the way genres will evolve also.
Like the NBA.
Yeah, like if you get rid of time and space being a factor, you can sell
Mhm.
more, like the internet.
Pretty much.
That's true. I mean, like the NBA was already looking at something like that,
Yeah.
right? Where you can be courtside with your VR, but of course you have to pay, like, maybe not courtside seats, but
But you
close
get a
to it.
good,
But
yeah.
do you also feel like
Floor seats.
That's what we want.
Pass me the rock.
that's how you do it? You're also under like the net. You're just watching the ball drop. You're like, oh, I'm here. I could throw my.
You getting it from the mascot's perspective.
Oh my god,
All you see is flips.
I'd throw up after that. But do you also feel like there's a negative to that? Maybe like a disconnect. Like
In a sense, yes.
Mhm.
But I think it could be not limited, but I think it could be the way they would do it would have to be a little bit more natural, in the sense that, okay, maybe we're not going to, promote that to the people right around the block that can, be at the concert. But for people who are across the world that their dreams were to be witnessed musical performance, like for people like that, I feel like it would really connect the bridge instead of, make it seem like this is a disconnection.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that would help a lot of artists, like what you're talking about with Juice WRLD and Peep and them passing, is just being able to reach people a lot easier and interact with them in an easier way. I mean, it already seems really easy with the internet, but then you think about VR, like what you're saying, when people are technically in front of you and can see almost like how your movements and actions and stuff like that are.
Or holograms. I mean, if we're not just talking about VR, holograms could be the next thing
That
too.
was getting big.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, but not for like already past artists, right? Like just current.
No,
artists.
current artists.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
or anybody.
like not
but
to resurrect the
no,
dead, but
no.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just for people who can't like experience their favorite artist and maybe it'll make even watching the actual the actual person
Mm-hmm.
live even more of a memorable situation, because you're like, I'm so used to now watching him on VR or only holograms that the day you do actually see him
You're,
live,
like,
it's like
losing it.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing experience. It just builds up the hype even more.
Yeah,
So-
because for me, like, when it came to that whole Tupac hologram, it was just so cringy.
Yeah.
I was saying to myself,
It's like a Ghostbuster movie.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, do I need to get the ghost blaster?
Get the trap.
Yeah, because it's the unfortunate fact that it's known that the man's passed. That
Mhm.
the only thing we have is the music that he left for us to
and that
remember.
keeps
By
coming out somehow.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
was
every day.
You know, I don't even think a lot of young kids want to see Tupac in VR. Like, they don't
No.
even know who this
I was
guy
about, yeah,
is.
dude.
you
They
know?
probably were like,
true.
who?
You know what I mean?
Like, he's so old.
Like,
Is he?
if you start putting super current rappers in VR, like you saw the Baby did a whole show on FaceTime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You start putting
That's-
current
'cause he was
rappers
That's
in
trap.
pre-VR right there.
Kids will be excited.
That's pre-VR right
Like,
there.
he couldn't get to the show, so he was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to do it.
He did.
live
That's
from
that man's
That's-
about his bag, bro.
Mhm.
He's not messing around. Like, there's a lot of
Oh, and it would triple the
phony ass
money.
artists who are like,
Yeah.
I'm about it, but
Yeah.
then don't
But
pull up on the FaceTime.
Did he?
Come on,
Did he
man.
get paid though?
He probably got paid a bonus.
I
off
mean,
of
he-
that
It
one,
got-
man.
He
got-
reconciled it. in a
the
sense.
fact of the
They
matter
still
that he
loved
was,
him.
the fact of the matter he was already recognized.
The worth of saving the connection. Was
Yeah,
in
that was
itself.
that's what was the thing that he was trying to preserve.
Yeah.
This one's for everybody. At Cyrus World Peace on Instagram, I believe. What is your individual style? And this one's for later. What is Mix One Essentials style?
What do you mean by style?
So our individual like music style.
Fashion style?
I think it means
It's a
Food
pretty
style?
broad question.
Yeah, super broad.
Well,
I would say
Music?
in like fashion style, because he was commenting on some merch that we have posted
Mhm.
on Mix One Essentials Instagram. What are you looking for in fashion?
What am I looking for? in
Or
fashion?
actually, let me tweak his question a little bit.
Tweak.
What are you looking for in hip hop rap fashion? How do you feel about it all?
Ooh,
Okay.
got a lot of ideas. I'm gonna go last though.
No.
If anything, I guess I'll start. For
All
me, I'm one that embraces the roots of where hip hop originated. We got to remember that it's still something that's not been fully exposed as long as pop and rock and roll and all the other genres that had early starts. This is something that had to start with inspiration of jazz and blues, and then from there going to funk, and then from funk we see
Disco?
the funk and disco, but then from there we see the artists that we grew up with, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, we see Notorious Big, Tupac. Those guys after that evolution of funk made us and disco made us scene that inspired what we grew from there. So for me, it's about the roots. I like it when it's something that
So you want to see that on clothes? You want to see that
yes,
represented by something in apparel?
Yes, I would like to see the preservation of that.
That would be cool. Having like a old school like
Polo?
hip hop, not maybe old school polo, or just something resembling back in the day, or like an image of a old school rap group or rapper or MC or DJ.
Are you saying like you want to see the images, or are you saying like the fashion that also carried with rap?
Just the stuff, because like you see right here, like I'm rocking my vintage hoodie shirt. It's something that was around in something that was inspired by the '90s and that and
in the times.
Yeah, in the time. Yeah.
Would you like to see a modern twist to that, or keep it old school?
I like to see. Modern twist. I wouldn't diss a modern twist. Something that somebody really felt passionate about. You know, I would have to respect their commitment to it. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, man. It's good to keep it back to the roots, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, because everything starts there, you know? All
Mhm.
this fashion and everything in the industry starts at roots somewhere.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you start to think, like, denim jackets are back. That was big, and then name the year, you know what I mean?
When we saw Aerosmith and in other bands that followed those guys, it was that inspiration that they got from rock artists that were coming actually from the Europe, that were wearing punk. It was when it was huge. People were wearing the denim vest and all the tight jeans. It's something that you got to be able to understand that it's roots that laid the foundation.
All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
I get
For sure.
that. Like personally, I would like to see something more towards the future, like that breaks away from the mold a lot more.
Mhm.
I do find. I mean, we just talked about the denim jackets, but we find that fashion maybe like in 40 years always recycles
Yeah.
and comes back and comes back and comes back, and so then the original spot where originated kind of gets muddy, where it then falls into like, well, hearsay, like, oh well, I believe it came from here and I came from here and I did this or whatever, right? I would like to see bringing back the Yeezys, like something that's just like, wow, that's really ridiculous, but it will grow on you,
Yeah,
right?
bro. Yeah.
Because a lot of times you find that a lot of stuff we're seeing now was already built or made
Mhm.
that we see and we're like, oh well, that's like really new, but it was already made like years ago, right? Like I like how more pop, not pop in music wise, but more just like pop art-ish is being introduced into like rap, right? Where you had the New Boys and the skinny jeans and those types of colors that were really like in your face, that grew into something that was a little bit more subtle, right? Like I would say New Boys was like what, 2010s, 2011?
I think it was 2009.
2009s, yeah. So like 2009s up to
You're
like,
a jerk.
yeah, to like 2010s, like New Boys, and then it flipped over to like Big Sean maybe, and then it flipped over again. It kept going, but you would see that with each iteration, there was like a newer phase in like fashion and hip hop. Now I feel like we're kind of reaching too far back sometimes and bringing back like the classic. Well, if we look at our pants, I mean, we had joggers, we have skinny jeans. Now we're going back to like the dad pants, I guess.
Yeah, baggy pants are starting to come back.
Yeah, and
those
it's
like
just
straight cuts.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's cool. But
Billie
I mean,
Eilish.
Yeah,
Billie Eilish is the one bringing all the baggy stuff back.
and the
for
big
real.
and the big dad shoes.
Shout
Like
out to Billie.
I saw her at what is it? Not Janice Live. God, what? It's like Austin, Texas. We have like this big concert. She was there. She got her ring stolen and she got choked out a little by her fans. It was kind of weird. But
Billie Eilish did?
yeah, she even talked about it because
Yeah,
she like dove into the crowd, and then one of the fans just like took the ring. They returned it to her first of all.
Okay,
it
no,
was,
that's
like,
at
it was a like a gold
considerate.
diamond ring or something.
Yeah, for real.
They snatched it, and then one of the girls, I guess, like was trying to like pet her, but like accidentally like choked her a little, and so she was like, "Oh shit!" Like I need to get the fuck out of here.
I hope Billie wasn't too traumatized.
No, she loved it, but like yeah, she gets like
Whoa.
I mean not in that way. Well, first of all, she's
She's 18 now.
yeah, I
guys.
got what
Happy birthday, Billie Eilish.
is it her birthday today?
It's not today, but she just turned 18 recently.
Well, happy birthday.
Belated.
Yeah. But yeah, now they're reaching back to like the dad shoes, dad pants, blah blah blah. Like I want something more forward, where I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming at all, right?
Yeah.
I want something more refreshing. I don't want to see the same rehash of everything else. Bring back the past, but also add the future to it.
Like that's why everybody liked Eminem, because Eminem always had the best punchlines and the funniest hooks and the
Preach.
craziest videos.
Slamming them.
But now you have
Slamming them.
And now we got
Lil Boat.
now we got Nick Cannon trying to come at him.
Yeah.
Bro, he's 3 diss songs in right now, and Eminem hasn't responded.
I don't.
You know the
I don't think
Stan
it warrants
video?
a response. Yeah, it's Nick Cannon. I
He's
mean,
the
I think
Stan.
after the first one, he was like,
like didn't Eminem already slap back at Mariah Carey, which also was a slap back at Nick Cannon?
No,
Yeah.
Mariah Carey dropped the hardest diss song of all
I don't
time.
know.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Eminem
I
revealed a lot of secrets that I thought was like, and then Nick Cannon had
Hold
no
on.
response for
Why-
like.
Nick Cannon said
decade.
Eminem was sucking dick in the back of his limo. What? That's a secret, bro.
I mean, what? How would
that's
Nick
I
Cannon
mean, that's
know?
great though. You know, support the LGBT.
Yeah, but how would Nick Cannon know, right?
Community.
Like, shameless
Oh
plug.
man, what if it
Exactly.
was Nick Cannon?
We need to stop doing this because then Eminem's gonna respond and he's gonna slap back at all of us.
Slamming him,
We
slamming him.
We're going deep down the rabbit
I'm gonna
hole,
have like a
guys.
Facebook request. It's like, who's Peanuts? And then I'm gonna add him and he's gonna know everything about my life. And he's gonna slap so hard. It's like, oh,
But yeah, that's a rabbit hole we can't go down.
Eminem, I'm sorry. Don't come at us. Makes essentials.
and we want all the smoke.
Please Reddit this song about us. Oh man.
How's he gonna rhyme mix one
Someone.
essentials?
I don't know. He'll do it.
I
think
know,
he
right?
writes
He's gonna
orange
rhyme it
once,
with
and I was like-
orange.
I was like, oh shit.
Orange with door hinge.
He's a god.
Just throwing that rhyme in there for anybody's
He's
trying to
gonna
rhyme
get Chris
orange
D'Elia
with.
in his
I'm already
video.
Using
sweating from
door
like,
hinge.
like fear.
Talking over each other.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It got crazy.
I can't even understand what you guys are saying.
Eminem's throwing us the first like kickers came out, and the first just beat makers in general came out. It really revolutionized everything. And then with the whole concept of like being with a group without a group, I mean, you just started hearing vocalists do different vocals. Everybody's mixing differently, and then sampling came too. Man, they just like changed up the way the sounds were put out to the public and what the labels could do with it.
Yeah, I
gave
mean, who do you credit the change of music to? Do you credit it more towards the DJs, the producers, or
audience.
towards the rappers?
The audience.
Yeah.
The
Because
audience.
if it wants for the if it's not for the audience that's listening, then why would anybody even promote or put any money behind any of these artists? You
Well,
know?
yeah, big labels, right? Yeah,
big
like the
labels.
artists will always do it.
I mean,
'cause
it's
the
a domino
artists.
effect. I feel.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to because
Yeah.
the producers and the DJs, after they see the performance and the reactions when they're up in their studio, they're thinking about what's going to be that next hit. That's just what it comes down to. Is what's going to be that next hit, and then when they find out artists that can appreciate what that craft that they just put into that sound, then that's when we start seeing the revolutions that we have today.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then you also get now where before, back in the day, right? Like you would have to send a letter or some shit, or you just appear at their concerts, be like, "Yo, I love this artist." That's how like the AR Man and everybody else would be like, "Oh, like this person's hot, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Like Kanye, before he even began his entire Kanye thing, like he was someone who lived in like Newark, New Jersey, had like a suitcase full of his mixtapes, and was just like selling it through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but now you look at when he was big and you look at how everybody like Sugar Hill and how they became big, you can see where it's just like not that many artists were huge, right?
Yeah,
like compared to now where it's almost every week you have a new artist that comes out that's huge, that everybody's loving it. Then the next week they're gone, someone else replaced them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, again, like technology, the more we get advanced, now we have a better way of the consumer communicating to the artist, communicating to people who actually put money behind that artist.
I feel it.
Yep, that's how it goes most of the time. I mean, nowadays too, it's evolved into like having a whole budget surrounded around your audience and what that can do for an artist and producers, labels. I mean, the budget is there now, the ideas are there, everything's come all full circle in a way. And and it's still going. I mean, it hasn't stopped evolving. Like we said, we're only like 40 years deep into the game.
Yeah. And they're
40
pushing like just music in so many different ways. Now you have rap being some of the front runners for movies and stuff like that. Like you had the Black Panther album by who did it? Kendrick did
What
it.
was that boxer one too?
Kendrick.
The
Creed, right?
Creed.
Something like that. Yeah. They're putting them in. I mean, the fact that they're putting them in movies now, like heavily, is incredible too. Because then you're just broadening the audience as well.
It went from not having a chart to being on the movies and all these charts.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's like the biggest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Like it's number one
I mean,
across the planet.
It really is. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Yeah.
You see
Mars.
these rappers that can go to Europe right now and just kill it
Yeah.
like a motherfucker out there. No issues whatsoever. And a lot of them make, I think, more of a bag over there, at least especially artists who are just starting.
Yeah.
You see a lot of artists who just start go straight to Europe,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Do you feel like in Europe it's saturated as much as it is over here in the U.S. and that's why artists it's almost like the NBA where it's like I'm done with the NBA, I'm just gonna go to like Europe or Lithuania to play basketball because you're gonna get in anyways.
Yeah, they're more. It seems like it's welcoming over there. It's interesting how it works because I've gone on my way to listen to different artists from different countries, and not being able to completely understand what they're saying because they're speaking their native language. I still am able to enjoy what they've created because they see they saw hip hop just as we did grow and become this new sound that wasn't getting the recognition that it properly deserved. And there's some artists globally that are just that only are recognized in their native country because that's really where they're only able to get that exposure from. But it's cool though that we see the rappers here from our country able to get that exposure and get that welcoming, and because you would think it would be more exclusive, over in other countries because they already got great artists that do the same.
Yeah, well, technology really helps spread the word more. I mean, just as it's helped artists hear about rap outside of this country, I think it's also helping introduce new artists in like from the country and out of the country and back and forth. So yeah, I mean, it's eventually gonna reach everywhere.
Yeah.
The Red Painting wants to know, what is everyone's favorite song and why? What about it's really getting to you
All right,
guys?
currently,
Currently.
let me show.
Oh, it's
Let's
wait,
go
all
current.
like current.
Well, I get favorite song. Nah, it doesn't have to be current.
'cause it-
What's up?
Okay.
Because I just mean currently
If
at
you
this
wanna do
time.
current-
What my favorites? Not like
Yeah,
the current.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
the current music?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just-
Yeah, like give us the name and the artist.
It's all heavy Kanye.
He's got to look it up. All right, I'll start. Roddy Ricch, The Box.
The-
oh,
The
snap.
box, bro. That's on. That's
That
on
is
the
Damn.
hard.
We can't do a
dude.
top 5.
Woo.
Eat.
That shit is
Ew.
so hard, man. Just like fuck 12, fuck the ops. Ooh. Had to hide it in the box. You know that man. I'm just saying this allegedly might have caught a body. I'm just saying.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Favorite
My
rapper.
face on here? Yeah.
And that's
Six
another one of
nine
those.
at the
Wait a minute.
at the podium. It was Dylan.
That's an-
Dylan snitched.
he's like in the corner just with his cell phone. He's like, I just saw something go down.
But that's another one of those songs that I listen to that and it makes me want to rob somebody for some reason.
God.
Like that, when I turn music on, I want to feel like that, man. Sometimes I don't want to rob anybody, but I want to feel like I want to rob somebody sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to. It's just like when you go to the
Sometimes.
gym, you're
Yeah,
like,
right.
okay, I need to play this music that's gonna pump me up, so I can do this extra 10 pounds that I couldn't do last week. You know what I mean? I want to listen to that type of music and just like ride around in my car, sit a little bit lower in the car, and just like feel like the hardest person around. While Roddy Ricch is like hiding it in the box, man. You feel me? Yeah, easily. That's why.
I like the Baby Keem song, Stats, and it changes up.
Is that a part of the reason why you like it? Because it changes up, or what?
Yeah. It goes from like one song into like a different kind of song.
That's a pretty huge thing.
Kind
man.
of like how that Frank Ocean song was, The Nights, or I can't remember. You know, it's just kind of like a change up.
Yeah, I like that ASAP Rocky song. That was it, Pretty Flocko Jody or something like that.
Yeah,
that
and they-
switched up entirely.
It's the one that goes into the fucking 𝐂𝐏𝐏𝐿ISH.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
𝐂𝐏𝐏.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
𝐂𝐏𝐏 walk.
For me currently, it's 03 Greedo Maria. I mean, the name. I remember Maria.
Who the fuck is Maria, bro?
That's exactly who she is.
My mom's name is Maria.
Oh
Well,
no!
she,
I'm telling my mom.
Hey, I think you have to ask your mom.
It all comes
And
out.
that sound, bro, when that shit bangs, and he's like, "Pull up on Maria." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, bro! Pull up on that bitch. Come on."
Would it matter what the beat was?
Yeah, the beat goes right with the name. The beat goes right with the name. Like Maria and the beat, just right. Like two big cheeks.
Got you.
Well, for me, I'd have to say, and I might butcher it, and I apologize if I do, but my man Jamel Naim X, he goes hard on this song called Magic Trick. He dropped it, and I heard that stuff, and I was like, fire, man.
Why'd you like it?
What? Just how it was so. It was just so creative. It was original. That's what I liked about it. The instrumental was original. Was something I haven't just when it comes to listening to the music nowadays, something that I haven't seen an artist go out their way to try. He just the mix that he blended with the sound. It felt like an old school Irish rock band mixed in with hip hop, and it just melded together so perfectly.
That's a random combination, but if he made it work, and I heard a couple of songs, that may go hard.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ron?
Heard him say.
Heard him
Kanye.
say.
Heard him say by Kanye, but which
College rapper,
Kanye though?
The old Kanye.
Oh, we're talking Bronze Age, huh?
Yeah, man.
Now it's a Silver Age.
Good Kanye. Yeah, this stuff now. I'm like Chick-fil-A number one. What are we doing?
We need to bring the copper back. That's what.
Yeah, no, like that was a good song because especially like living in Queens, like perched up in front of the TV. The music video came out for that song, and I watched it, and it was just like Kanye was homeless with like 2 kids, They broke into a Macy's. It was Adam Levine or whatever that man's name is, from Maroon 5. He was like the security guard, and he was just like, "All right, I'm gonna let y'all in." And they had like a good Christmas.
That's cool.
That was the thing.
That's good. That's
but
good.
The song is also good by itself.
Yeah. I mean, but visuals help, Sometimes a music video does make you want to listen to the song even more.
It helps you like really visualize like, the words they're saying with the beat and like just the somberness of the beat.
Favorite new rappers right now?
Duke Deuce, Crunk dead, bitch.
Yeah, Duke Deuce is in Essentials 003, available now on all streaming platforms.
Academics.
No.
He's a rapper. He wants to be a rapper, bro.
Yeah.
He just capping.
Yeah. He's like, would you say he's
one toe in, one toe
I
out.
heard a song from him. I can't remember. It was like one he had on YouTube, and it was kind of like he was trying to kind of look like do like Gunna, like.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he
He's
kind of
tryna-
does bite styles.
You look like him with dreads and everything. It's not a bad thing.
I know the dreads. The dreads are crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
When I first saw him with
You need
that,
to
I was
watch
like,
them things.
what?
You need to change the color. Bro, I added him because I sampled him in the Juice WRLD thing. I
Yeah.
was waiting for the reply.
What'd you add him on?
Added him on the IG comment
IG
sections.
account.
I've been going on his comments. I've been fucking dropping the link, but not yet.
But nothing.
Not yet.
He'll tune in. I'm sure.
Man.
We'll see.
Duke Deuce
Hopefully.
He just posted this thing about Kodak Black and how he's like getting drugged in jail, and like how he's getting beaten by the COs, like the correction officers, and they're like getting other inmates to like fight him, and then like they're getting off like free and shit, and he's trying to get like medical attention, but they're not really like helping him out.
Well, prison is
then
not
they're
a
trying to
place to
get-
look for help.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I don't
like,
think anyone's
especially
gonna-
for a minority, and it's just anybody in general, but it's not a place you want to go look for
hashtag
help.
justice for Kodak.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Man, Kodak, he's a fucking, he's
The
unique,
realest
man.
ever.
He's unique. I just can't explain how somebody can go to prison, come back out, still be rich, go back to prison, come back out, be rich again, and it's like a whole revolving door. I just
think
don't
it's
get
just like I said, once you get famous and you're from the streets, how do you cope with that? And
it. Yeah,
not
but he's had
be
time
so
to cope with
involved?
that. He's had time. I don't think it's
He
like
just
a
goes
matter
back.
of time. Yeah.
I mean, what else? What else does he know? He's not a bad thing.
Well, he
He just
should know
does-
a lot more. I mean, he had resources to kind of like move out and do his own thing.
Yeah,
but
I mean, like the money gives him like opportunity, but like I don't know. He's just seen too much shit. It's just kind of what he's used to.
I think it's prison, bro. I think prison's been doing.
Well,
I
that's
don't even
just-
think it's the streets. I don't even because he hasn't been active in the streets, and I don't mean to say I know what he does. I'm just saying like he's just a music man now. But I think it's prison that's really like making him like holding him back and stuff, and just keeping him.
Is it like indoctrinating him? into, like,
Basically.
that type of stuff?
Basically, yeah, more than the streets now, because like the streets don't do really, they're not really active like that. I mean, in my perspective of what I've seen of Kodak, he's not really like out there. He's more in the music scene now than ever. But prison, bro, prison will mess you up.
Yeah, he got locked up for a weird thing this time around. It was because he purchased a firearm as a felon, which I mean,
Yeah, you can't.
of course you can't do that, but still,
He lied on a federal
I
government.
don't know.
No,
Was
I
there
thought
anything that he
I
did?
thought it was because he was trying to go to Canada and he had guns and he didn't know he was driving. He didn't know.
The border was
Where-
right there.
No, he didn't know where he was driving the boat.
Oh my gosh, it's weird, man. I can't. I mean, if you see all this like past generation, and I mean past by like just saying like how long they've been already here, but this generation with like Kodak to Juice WRLD to like X, man, it's been like a whole roller coaster of like you get good music coming out of them, you're like anticipating the next one, and then like a big speed bump, and for some it's the last speed bump,
Mixed one, essential.